Mike Sports Vibes. Thank you for vibing with me. The mighty Minnesota Vikings were close, but not good enough at the end when it counted the most against the Detroit Lions. This is the game recap between the two teams, Minnesota Vikings versus Lions, and I'm going to keep it real. I'm going to say this, and I don't want people to overreact about this. We took a L, right? But I still feel like the Minnesota Vikings are the best team in the NFC. You're going to win some, you're going to lose some. Detroit Lions, I want to give you a lot of credit, man, because, yes, like, Viking fans, we got to keep it real. They came into Minnesota and they got the job done. Now, let me talk my talk about the whole entire game.
Talk that talk.
If you haven't already, make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. We're going live for absolutely every single game this season. But let's just talk about what happened, right? A little bit more details. And I just want to start with this detail, right? The first half was spectacular for the most part. Not really spectacular because it started off good. I'll say that. Let's say that. It started off good. We were up 10-0. That bull, Aaron Jones. Let me just say this, man. Aaron Jones, like, he was injured, a hamstring. This man was simply amazing, and he was the player of the game for me, just to keep it. That's just my opinion. 14 carries for 93 yards, 6.6 per carry, and 1 touchdown. And that 1 touchdown to make it 7-0 was a 34-yard run? Yeah, 34-yard run. And it was simply amazing, man. He had his speed. He was running people over. He was very shifty. He was blocking. He was catching. He had this one catch in the second half, I believe. I'm trying to look at his stats. He had 3 catches for 23 yards, 7.7 per catch. His longest catch was 17 yards. That was that one catch. And I was like, wow, this man got some hands. So shout out to Aaron Jones. And it's not the run game that struggled in this game. It was literally, it starts at the top. And I don't mean to come at Sammy D. But in that first half, let's keep it real, y'all. I'm not being negative. I'm keeping it 1,000. I'm keeping it 100. And I have to keep it real. Sammy D did not have a good overall game. And I'm going to get to the defense. I know people are going to say the defense was bad too. I understand. I'm going to get to that. Trust and believe. I'm going to get to that. Sammy D, right? Oh, my goodness gracious. In the first half, this man had, what was his numbers looking like? First half, his numbers was 9 for 12 for 75 yards and one interception. He did not have a good game in the second half. He had some good moments. He had some big plays, but not enough to keep us afloat, meaning keep us in that undefeated column where it's nothing but wins and no losses. Because at the end of the day, had opportunities in that fourth quarter to put the nail in. I don't want to say nail in the, y'all know what I'm trying to say, but it's true. When we were up, I'm not going to get into that. Let me just go in order. But yes, we had 7 points, and then that field goal by my bull, Will. By the way, shout out to Will, man. Will did his thing. I don't know how many field goals this man had. He had at least 4 field goals or something close to that. This man made a 57-yard field goal. He made a 42-yard field goal. He made a 48-yard field goal. This man kept us afloat. And it goes to show you that field goal kickers are very important. I'm not saying use a first-round pick on one, but using that 6th-round pick was absolutely like probably the steal of the draft, one of the steals of the draft. So I'm going to keep it real. And I'm so excited we finally got that position pretty much good for a very long time, right? You would agree with that. I'm pretty sure you would. But yeah, man, there were some plays throughout this game. Like, we were up 10-0, and then we gave up a big run to Gibbs. Look, man, the Lions are tough to beat. If you let their running backs do what they did to us in this game, 15 carries for 116 yards, 7.7 per carry, and 2 touchdowns. His longest run was 45, and that was the run that made it 10-7. It's just like, yeah, those are the type of plays or like, yo, we can't be letting that happen. I can understand maybe a 10-yard run for a touchdown, but a 40 plus yard run for a touchdown is unacceptable. This defense was getting ran all over this whole game. And then that opens up the offense for the Detroit Lions. And Jared Goff, I keep saying, the man is one of the best quarterbacks. When you got the run game going, it's hard to stop the Lions because they're going to play action you all day, and that's how they're going to win 9 times out of 10. This man in the first half was looking like Tom Brady. This man was 12 of 12 for 156 yards, 1 touchdown. He was accurate. He was putting touch on his passes. This man had a good game overall. Like, Jared Goff is a good quarterback. I can't believe I'm admitting to that, but he is a good quarterback. But throughout this game, man, it was just like the offense struggled, couldn't do anything when we needed it the most. But there were certain plays like the Ivan Pace Jr. recovery for the touchdown to make it 29-28. There was certain plays when Josh Metellus punched that ball out that gave us hope. But overall, the defense did not ball out. This defense was getting just destroyed in every way possible. Like when it comes to even our secondary, the one play, Stephon Gilmore. Look. I got to hit you with the knob, bro.
Nah, bruh. Nah.
Look, and I mean this with no disrespect. Stephon Gilmore, things happen. But he slipped on the one play and gave up a touchdown to their wide receiver, I believe number 11, Raymond. And I was like, yo, dude, what are you doing? So, like, that was a play that was just like, dang, we can't be doing stuff like that. I understand things happen, but it sucks that you can't really make any mistakes as a defense because your offense, like, we got to keep it real. Our offense hasn't been consistent for the last 3 games, it seems like. It hasn't been consistent enough. Like, our defense just been saving us a lot of the times. And our defense got us the lead. And I actually, when I was doing my play-by-play, I said, yo, we need to just take some of the pressure off of this offense and get a interception for a touchdown or a fumble recover for a touchdown. And that's exactly what happened. But it just sucks that our defense, they didn't play the best, but my goodness, man, they got to do so much to win. And St. Brown was destroying our secondary. Our safeties wasn't doing nothing for the most part besides Josh Metellus. And St. Brown, 8 catches for 112 yards, 14.0 per catch, and 1 touchdown. He was destroying us. His longest receiving catch was 35 yards. But, man, it really just comes down to we just couldn't convert on third down when we needed it the most enough. Our third down conversions wasn't enough for us to get the dub. When you go 3 and out, when you're winning 29-28, there's no excuses, man. There's no excuses. And then you put all the pressure back on the defense. It's like it's just too much to ask for. And the defense, when it comes to Brian Flores' defense, our defensive line been holding it down all year. We've been stopping the run for the most part. They went against the best running back duo in the whole entire NFL. It's hard to stop. But my goodness, like, we have to figure out something. I feel like Kwesi's going to have to cook and somehow find a defensive tackle. We have to be better when it comes to stopping the run because that is our kryptonite. I'm going to keep it real. I know the stats are going to probably say something else, but that is our kryptonite. We have to expect the best for the Vikings. We got to think of, yo, we trying to win a dang on Super Bowl, and we not just trying to just have the best record in the regular season. We want to be able to go against these teams in the playoffs and have an honest chance of beating them. And I feel like we need a defensive tackle. We really do. I don't know who it's going to be. I made a video about Quinnen Williams, but truthfully, that's not going to happen unless they just really fall apart and they just traded for Adams. So I don't think that's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers got his favorite wide receiver of all time, so it's just not going to happen now. Probably, unless the Jets they start losing a little bit more. But, man, Ivan Pace, man, and the defense did their part at the end, but they just couldn't hold it down at the end at the same time because it's just too much pressure. Like, I can't really fault the defense for the second half. I can fault them in the first half. They just could not get a stop when they needed to. Let me say this. Brian Flores, I don't know what it is when it comes to the zone or what's going on with the defense, but in the middle of the field is wide open. They're getting first downs. The Lions targeted the middle of that field all dang on game. Even if it's a slant or whatever, however they do it, they target in the middle of the field. So there's big holes in the middle of our defense. We got to figure out what we're going to do. So we got to stop the run. We got to figure out how we're going to stop the run consistently against these top teams like the Detroit Lions, because they are a top team, whether we like it or not. And we have to be able to be better in that secondary, especially in the middle of the field. I don't know what's going to happen when it comes to that. But in order for us to take it to another level, we have to figure something out. What else would I want to talk about? I'm disappointed in Sam Darnold overall, man. I know I talked about it. His overall stats was just not good enough. 22 for 27 for 259 yards, 9.6 per throw. Sucks, man. But like I said, this does not change anything about the Vikings. The Vikings are still a very good team. And we got a game against the Rams on Thursday, and I feel like we could win that game. I feel like it's going to be I don't know what the Rams record is, but I'm not going to underestimate them regardless of what the record is. We're not going to do that. We're going to take one game at a time. We got to go back to the drawing board, and we got to play Viking football. Every game counts because our division is stacked. You know what I mean? This goes to show you that we're going to have to finish strong. This is not no starting the season 5-0 and thinking that we can lose now. We got to keep on going. We got to be consistent. But that's all I got to say. Have a wonderful day. Go Vikings. Dang. I don't know what else to say, man. I don't know what else to say. But I'm out.
Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. Yeah. Mike Sports Vibes, thank you for vibing with me. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go.
I really do this.
I'm a hybrid fan. I'm a stand-up man.
Yeah.
They be hating on the squads, but they really a fan. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. I'ma talk that talk about the Sixers and the Vikings. Let's go.